on your Wednesday. So once again, I hope you guys are doing well out there, and I will try not to make this too long, but and there's not anything this is not earth-shattering by any stretch, or it's not that this is some kind of epiphany, but it's something that I've been trying to draw points to, or trying to draw some of the information, or some of the reports into focus, into one argument, or one, or yes, to defend. I was trying to gather enough information that I could, support my own argument, or my idea, my contention on this one particular subject. So we kind of talked around about this a few weeks ago, perhaps. We talked about, we've kind of, we on, Black Spring, you guys have seen me talk about the We Forum, and I kind of I tapped out just a little bit, because I used to, kind of check in regularly, like weekly. But I do know that there was a virtual Davos, and I did mention to you guys that, the irony that Fauci was a guest speaker, as well as, I think, the President Xi, both were featured in this particular virtual Davos meeting. But I will say that I've talked about this before, that a lot of things I thought in the past were kind of maybe leading up to more of a global health governance. And I am sticking with that. So this is kind of, I'm kind of offering this based on, some of those findings, or some of those meetings. Okay, so with all that, I'm saying that, we've been talking about this, some different examples. We've read different articles. But, for one, I want to say this. I know a lot of people are, of course, there are kids that are excited about not wearing masks, but then there's still that fear out there, to me, for the more, dare I say, for the weaker, or for those who have been, enamored with, with the major networks and the mainstream this entire time. However, I don't quite think that this thing is done. I don't think that, even though the midterms are coming up, I think we can all, we can see that clearly. I do think that is weighing on this lift, or quasi lift the restrictions kind of a bit. But I don't think it's over. I think, you need to pump your brakes, as they say. You need to pump your brakes a little bit, because if you look at Davos Radio, this entire clip of Fauci speaking in reference to pandemics, future variants, this whole 9 yards, says to me that this is not over. It's not the main part of what I'm saying, of me coming on here with next, is what I entitled this thing. But he's definitely advocating for global health governance, is what he is. So how would he do that? Some people might say, how do you suspect he's going to do that? Well, look at it. They've already massaged many people, not only with fear, but with coercion. A lot of people gave up a lot of their health information, willing to take, of course, temperature checks, and I didn't say anything about anal ones, at least not here in the States. People were willing to go there. They were able to give up that type of privacy, and bodily autonomy, and they were willing to do that. But at the same time, look at, we talked about the NIH, about how these things kind of keep dripping out. The breadcrumbs keep kind of dripping out, about how the NIH have somewhat submitted to there being small changes in menstrual cycles. Well, there was an app that they used called Natural Cycles. The Natural Cycles apps, all these groups. It's just been one big case study one big experiment. I think we've become one big experiment. And I think and I don't think the experiment is over by any stretch. I've been saying this, sorry about that. I've been saying this for a while. I don't think that this is going to end with a pulling of a lever or anything like that, because it is the elite that are saying, look, this is how this is going to go. We're not done. We're going to go. There's some words that he uses very specifically. He talks about future pandemics and how he thinks that interconnectivity throughout the world will help with future pandemics. Well, what do you guys think that means? Just look at it right now. If you go back a few months ago, there are certain countries that you couldn't enter during the summer. Many people tried to travel and do things they could not travel to. You couldn't go to France, or you couldn't go to certain places without there's still some places, there's still hotels you can't go without green passes. And do you think all that was really? No, I think the globe, that's a part of the UN agenda. They've always had an agenda, people, those people that cry conspiracy theorist people. The UN is not a new organization, and they've always had an agenda, but they have very specific agendas, and they have benchmarks. In fact, it's really, it makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up if you listen to this entire interview. I haven't had a chance to listen to the entire thing, but these so-called world scientists and leaders and all these people, they're talking about very specific things. They're talking about benefits of this mocktail. They talked about the population specifically. The populations will have the benefit of mocktails, and we will get closer to equilibrium. Check it. Go to We Forum. I know that they did a specific clip with Fauci himself, but then there were other people speaking. There was another person speaking. They didn't disclose that person on that particular interview. But if you do the whole interview and not just get the clips that they've taken out, you'll probably you'll hear these other people that chimed in on this Davos virtual meeting, and including Radio Davos. They invite you. So this is not some underground operation or something that I made up. We Forum exists, Davos exists. I think they did Davos in Singapore last year instead of Geneva, or some people Geneva, Switzerland. However, but yeah, he even talked about the new normal. The new normal will have greater attention on scientific preparedness, public health preparedness, and then there's that interconnectivity throughout the world. So that's the way that you have to achieve it by connecting people. Bigger than Facebook, right? I mean, what some people might say, what Zuckerberg brought people the world, or travel brings people closer, brings the world to people. Well, what do you think will bring interconnectivity when it comes to pandemics? How are they going to bring that? How are they going to bring interconnectivity throughout the world if it's not going to be done without technology? So he is certainly advocating for global health governance. So I didn't watch the entire thing. These were just a couple of bits. These couple of things that I kind of extracted, but there's very specific thing. Population was mentioned, interconnectivity, benefits of mocktails. They quoted the world population, and that more than 50%, I guess as it stands, has been double juiced at this point. So, let me just say hi to everybody in the stream. This is kind of random, I know it is, but I just, just drop it in here. It is Wednesday night. How are you guys doing? All right, so it's Belinda Ann Birds. How are you? Belinda Ann Birds has lifted the restrictions only to restore them again. This is only temporary. 22 Ronan. There you go. Joseph Francis Burton is here. Let's see. Melinda Ann Burns says, can't trust these politicians. Fauci is head of his organization, and his wife is in charge of the ethics of his organization. Nothing wrong with that, right? Hi, Luciano. How are you? And Luciano said, did you read about the CCP cooked up another? Imagine. And guess who's participating? Thank you so much, Melinda Ann Burns. Same to you. But yeah, but what I'm saying is like this is far from done, you know. And I'm not saying that I know that I'm some kind of oracle or, you know, or that I'm all knowing on any stretch, but I am saying that this thing is, I just think it's far from done. And I do think that they'll do whatever there's, I think the full clip of it, I'll probably go ahead and watch that because I would like to know what else was contributed to that. But like I said, a lot of people have given up a lot already. They have given up. They're willing to give up their body temperatures. They're willing to share their cycles, their monthly cycles. Women, they're willing to do all these things, and not to mention, I tell you another tool for them will be they will partner with these corporations in order to create their nanny health state, is what I'm afraid of. Because, you know, a lot of companies have incentivized biometric information for their employees. And that's not, and you notice there's a lot of talk about mental health. That's another thing. Like mental health is not a new phenomenon either. It's not. You know, what is it, May? Is it May that's Mental Health Month? Something like that. It's not anything new. But I do believe that once they get enough apps and enough people sharing this information, and I have yet to look for the common denominator. Who's owning these apps? Are they Microsoft? I mean Microsoft. Who's running these apps? Who's the developer for the apps? There's going to be a common something in there. You better believe. I don't know, like some of these people that are, you know, big on iWatches and, oh, I'm counting my steps. You know, there's technology out there to recognize people from Schwab's fourth industrial revolutions. They want to be able to detect or identify people by their heartbeats. They want to be able to break you down to that, you're going to be broken down and identified in the most granular ways. You know what I mean? Like, that's how that data is to me, it's eventually going to be used. And I think it might already be, some people might already have a profile out there and they just don't know. And that might be the conspiracy theorist in me. But I mean, I just don't think that things materialize out of nowhere. And I don't think data is collected, you know, without, I just don't think it's just aimlessly or just, I don't think it's collected for no apparent reason. I don't. Sorry, folks, if it's too much for you. Buckle up when you come into Black Spring the next time. Let's see who else is here. Thank you guys so much again. Two Hats is here. Positively Penny. How are you? Let's see. 22 Ronan says the pandemic did what it was designed to do. I think, yeah, well, and for some, it kept some people are in the same place. There are people out there that I think they're actually protesting because they want the mandates reinstated right now. I don't remember where I saw that liner at. I don't. But the other stuff I would give you, the source on that was, of course, I follow the We Forum and Davos and, but where I saw that particular, people in the streets, wanting mandates reinstated. Yeah. So I just think that, I think the global governance is something that's, I will it be in the passports? It's funny. I heard something today. It's like the infrastructure. I think you need an infrastructure to create this kind of interconnectivity that Fauci spoke about in his presentation at Davos virtual this year. So, yeah, I think they're probably setting up. The infrastructure for that. Yeah. Let's see who else is here. I appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. 22 Ronan says they've been spying your groceries before you were born. Frosted Lucky Charms. Somewhere I heard that was like the worst thing for you. Like, that was like what's the worst General Mills cereal out there? One of the worst ones. Spy my Lucky Charms. They're no good. They're full of sugar. Now, that's one thing about it. Yeah, it's like most cereal were created equal. A bag of sugar. At the bottom, you just dump the bag over. You just turn the bag over. And there's your flavor right there in the bag, in the bottom. It'll come out on the end. Let's see. Yeah, even, what is it, Tony the Tiger? Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes. So, yeah. But, yeah, I just thought that was just a couple of points that I was, that I wanted to mention because I didn't finish that I didn't finish that session, of course, but I will. And I'll give you more information. I'll give you more, give you my assertions on what I think is, what I'm going on, what I'm on about, But yeah, yeah, we've not, you notice how there was no incentive for those people that did not. There's no incentive for those people who did not manage to catch catch the coup for where's the reward? Where's the symbolism and the rewards for the people who have healthier lifestyles or healthy, where's that? I'm just saying, did your health insurance go down because you didn't catch the coup? Did it? Count Chocula. Oh wow, we are throwing it back here, aren't we? We're throwing it pretty far back here when we start getting Choculas and Count Draculas and Honey Smacks and Toucan Sams, all that kind of a bit. But yeah, I have yet to see anybody's premiums go down or you're going to get 6 months of less premium because you've remained in your health. You were much healthier. I don't see that. I haven't heard that now. I'm not saying it's not out there. I just have not heard from anybody that, that got a health benefit from their insurance company, during this time, because at this point, we're all survivors. We're survivors of something. We don't know. We might not know what it is. We might not be able to identify what it is, but we all survived something during this time. Okay, let me just read a couple comments here. Joseph Francis Burton said, Lucky Charms has candy-coated marshmallows. Oh, wow. Let's see. And Joseph Francis Burton says, Count Chocula has got to be the worst abomination invented. Ooh, we got 7 and 7 here. 7 and 7. 7 viewers and 7. Who knows if that's right or not? Do I really put my suitcase down on this data stuff? No, I don't. But I appreciate you. If you're here, if you're considering coming in, or if you're not sure if you're coming in and you're just, or if you're being creepy or whatever, just do what you do. But you know, it's probably been done before. Just know that. Okay, let's see what Fruity Pammy Clyde says Blueberry and Frankenberry. Yeah, I remember all of those. Those things are so full of dye and ink and what is that, Yellow 7? You know, I think I had somebody tell me about, oh, make sure you avoid that yellow dye. And I'm like, if you think about that, some of our medications have Yellow 7. Like, what is it? Like even Tylenol, you know, if you get the cap with the Tylenol with the yellow and the red cap or whatever, the gel cap, I think some of those are coated with the yellow, dye too. What do you do? What do you do? Joseph Francis Burton says, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Luciano says, Natural News has an article that points out natural ways to detox from swing. I'll look it up. That's nice. Thank you so much for sharing that, Luciano. And he says, hold on. What else is he saying? He says, NAC happens to be one of them. No wonder the corrupt F to the D to the Z put an end to the supplement. Well, thank you for sharing that for sure. And then Luciano says Fruity Pebbles was a disgrace. Tasted horrible. Melinda and Burns says nasty. Give me good old fashioned cornflakes. Yeah, I like the ones. What was it with the cockatoo on the front? I'm not calling it cockatoo. It's a chicken. It's a chicken on the front, right? Or rooster. The rooster on the front, not a cockatoo. All right, let me get it together. My vocabulary seems a little bit off. You guys probably, it's off all the time. Joseph Francis Burton says, remember our public health officials told us to boost our immunity with diet and exercise. We'll see. We'll see. But I don't know. Call me crazy. I don't know. When officially the midterms, I feel like a total ignoramus right now because I've kind of got out of the total stench or the total trenches of politics in some ways, but they're never that far, coming from California, but because I think Newsom lifted the indoor mask restrictions, I think on the 15th, but the other facilities where, of course, there are public health care workers and whatnot, I don't think they've gotten any relief. In fact, I know they haven't. In fact, I think they kind of got worse. Don't ask me how I know. But yeah, so that's that. But I don't know. But here's the thing you don't hear. Has anybody relinquished their emergency powers? Has anybody done that? They're talking about mandates, but what about your emergency authorization powers? How about that? Are we still an emergency? We talked about this one night before. We really did. I really appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Let's see, what else do I have here? But I'm going to get out of here. I wasn't trying to keep you guys forever and a day. Okay. So we had Joseph Francis Burton says, anybody remember Uel Gibbons? My dear hippie mother read too many of his books. She had us eating boiled weeds that she pulled from the river. I can't say that I know that. I can't say that I know that. Can't say that I know that, Joseph Francis Burton. But you will enlighten us, or you will post it up on your channel. Let us know if you do. We appreciate it. We really do. So I want to thank you guys so much for entertaining me at the 11th hour on your, what's today? It's Wednesday. It's still Wednesday. It's even earlier Wednesday if you're on the West Coast. But if you're on the East Coast, Southeast, Central, whatever, it's later for you. And so I'm going to go ahead and let me say hi to everyone one last time and sign off. But we're going to keep an eye on, you know, the Fauci train, because it's still going. It's not, because see, a lot of people, oh, everybody's like, oh my God, where's Fauci? Where's Fauci? Yeah, but honestly, has anybody seen him? Now, Davos was in January. Has anybody seen him? He's not making so many appearances right now, right? He's quiet, right? But he's talking to people at Davos, you know. He's telling you how this stuff is going to go through the people at Davos. Okay, so let me just blast back here. So what are they going to do? They got to tamp down, right? They're going to tamp everything down and do these midterms. And then what? Okay. And then I think, what is it? Hillary's in the buzz right now. Yeah. Yeah, of course the media is not going to talk about that. They're not going to talk about that. They're ignoring it. So this is what I'm talking about. What have we learned? What have we learned? I'll wait. I hear crickets. I hear crickets on one regard. Not necessarily you guys, but literally, I hear crickets right now. So let's see. Let's do this. Okay, so let's go ahead and do like so many distractions, and this is one more other thing. And I'm about to go on a rant. I feel it, but I'm gonna get your comments here just a second. But who cares about the Super Bowl? You know, it just sounds like so what? Black History Month is gonna be the Super Bowl, the toilet bowl. I don't watch it. I'm not going to watch it. And then you get all these old school dried up skags to start spouting, crap on, who cares about Snoop Dogg? I was like, what, he'll be 75, 80 years old and people still calling this guy Snoop Dogg? I mean, what, his era was 30 years ago, plus years ago now. These kids today don't know anything. They just know that he is like subliminally whispering sweet nothings in their ear about who's who right now. And he doesn't even know who's who. He's just being controlled. Oh, but yeah, we gotta go to the Super Bowl. We gotta deal with him at the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. They have really turned this whole Black History Month stuff into it's in the bowl. That's the bowl. That's the bowl. The bowl. Okay? It's like night, NFL. Night. Curtains. It's a wrap. It's done. Stick a fork in it. Let's see. All right. So that's enough. I had like people talking about the Super Bowl like they've never had a freaking Super Bowl. It's just like, what is it with 2022? Is the rebirth of nothingness? The rebirth of symbolism? It's just like, we just cannot get off of symbolism. And I'm not saying you guys. I'm saying it just seems like there's the masses. I mean, of all people, Snoop Dogg is bringing people to the Super Bowl. And those trash performances they do. Ugh, yuck. Okay, so I'm done with the Super Bowl. And I'm going to get out of here before I go rantity rant. Okay, so Mike Adams, Luciano said Mike Adams also predicts Crooked Pharma is going down soon. All right, well, we'll see. Joseph Francis Burton says, I would vote for anybody that introduces legislation that would severely limit executive emergency powers. See, that's what I'm talking about. Why hasn't that been shut down? I don't care about, these people aren't relinquishing power. They're relinquishing some of the control, They're going to get you used to some freedom, and then you're going to be back. Okay. Well, okay, so let's see. Let's see. Let me go back one. And then I got to hurry up because I think I'm on. Ooh, I'm running out of juice here. Okay. So Melinda and Burns says national emergencies don't last for 3 years, but wars do. It's war against us, we the people. Teach, Melinda Ann Burns. You got it. You got it. Luciano, the NFL is the patty cake league now anyway. Luciano says the Ukraine invasion thing is a distraction from the Hitler spying scandal. And Melinda Ann Burns is more structured after the Super Bowl for one night than what has happened in Ottawa for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, and I tell you, that Trudeau, he is... Like I said, these people, this is how the West is destroyed, is exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. You know, I've heard Biden quote the old Soviet. And I've heard, you know, Trudeau praising, you know, CCP. They know exactly what they're doing. So but you think that's over? No, it's like they've tasted blood now. No. They got to get you back in the Matrix, just long enough to get you back in the Matrix. And release the hounds. Joseph Francis Burton said, Snoop Dogg is old. Try being a fan of Neil Young these days. Luciano says, I'd rather hear Elton John sing Crocodile Rock. Pammy Clyde says, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Linda Ann Burns says, I would rather watch an Aggie game any day. Love the halftime shows. And Joseph Francis Burton says, yeah, it's all about nostalgia. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. And I appreciate you guys so much for coming in on this next. What's next? I guess that's what I should have said. But we'll see. We never know. This is a process here. It's a process. And it never ends. Something for everybody is a process. You can't, because you can't. If you're offering something for everybody, then nobody's getting it. Nothing. You offer nothing to anybody. Okay. So, all right. With all that said, I'm going to say good night. And thank you guys so much for tuning in to Black Spring Mobile on your Wednesday. Thank you. And good night.